just Monty Williams that didn't want him. We don't know.
Well, we heard that they almost accepted a deal allegedly on draft night. Let me tell you the report that came out today from Mark Stein of the Stein Line. The Mavericks and Suns held advanced draft night talks on DeAndre Ayton trade. So the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks engaged in advanced discussions on a trade during the draft before talks stalled, according to Mark Stein of the Stein Line. The trade would have sent DeAndre Ayton to Dallas for Tim Hardaway Jr., Rashawn Holmes, and JaVale McGee. The Suns pondered and thought about it, but they objected to the inclusion of JaVale McGee. Even though the Suns wouldn't have acquired any future first, they liked the ability to turn DeAndre Ayton into Rashawn Holmes and Tim Hardaway Jr. They just did not want JaVale McGee on the team. Sources tell Stein that the talks could be resumed. For now, the Suns are reportedly moving forward with DeAndre Ayton on the roster. Ayton is represented by the same agent who represents Luka Doncic, Bill Duffy. Beyond resigning Kyrie Irving, the Mavericks have prioritized upgrading their center position this offseason. They previously engaged with the Atlanta Hawks for a Clint Capella trade, and a source says that Atlanta insisted that the Mavericks accept John Collins instead. And if they wanted, and the Hawks came back and said that if the Mavs want Capella, they need to put Josh Green or Jaden Hardy in the deal. Hawks moved on to trade Collins to the Jazz. So what do you guys take from here? Do you think talks will resume, or
what is James Jones? So what was James Jones smoking when they Suns said?
Oh, dude, James Jones doesn't run the office anymore.
Well, then, so he's the president, though. So who's making the decisions? Just the Ishibas?
Guess who?
Who?
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas, baby.
Oh my God! No, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. This isn't we're not having a mid-2000s Knicks again.
Isaiah Thomas hasn't officially been given a title.
He's probably just a consultant or something right now, right?
Yeah, he hasn't
his title is probably consultant.
So right here, Bradley Beal. So literally the Athletic.
Can I say what I was about to say real quick? I want whatever the Suns front office is smoking that they said they liked the ability to turn DeAndre Ayton into Tim Hardaway Jr. and Rashawn.
I know.
What the fuck is that?
But supposedly Isaiah Thomas.
Terrible.
Isaiah Thomas played a role in the Bradley Beal and the Chris Paul trade. I don't know how, and he's not part of the thing, but it seems like James Jones has been slowly his role.
Being phased out.
He's being phased out like he's being Howie Roseman.
He's being,
get closer, Luke. Luke, you're far away. Luke,
he's being Tony Wrestler.
No, he's Howie Roseman.
I know. He's Howie Roseman.
Tony Wrestler's an owner.
You
don't know what happened to Howie Roseman?
He's still technically there, though.
No, but Howie Roseman got the job.
In charge of the
Let me fucking tell you what happened. In 2010, Howie Roseman got the job. Okay? He fucks up and he tries to create the dream team. So Jeff Lurie makes him assistant general manager. Then he spends a few years being assistant general manager because he got demoted. And then he gets re-promoted the year before they win the Super Bowl. Then he wins the Super Bowl, and then they promote him again. But he got promoted to president back in 2010, then got demoted because he spent all that money on the dream team.
Fucked up.
And they fucked up, so they demoted him.
So James Jones is being Travis Schlanked? Just being forced out?
I don't know if he's being he could be Travis Schlanked. He's either being Travis Schlecht where he's being forced out and Isaiah Thomas is slowly being brought in, or he's being Howie Roseman where he's being demoted.
I think it's more Howie Roseman because Travis Schlenk would require that they install a yes man instead, and I wouldn't call Isaiah Thomas a yes man.
No, Travis Schlenk didn't want the yes man. They put the yes man.
No, they put a yes man instead of Travis Schlenk. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Isaiah Thomas isn't a yes man. So Isaiah Thomas is just Isaiah Thomas. He's not a yes man. So it maybe more Howie Roseman than Travis Schlenk, but man, Chris Paul claims Isaiah Thomas massive in Wizards trade.
Yeah.
I'm just stunned. That James Jones really being forced out in front of our eyes?
Kind of.
Wow.
I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think he's being forced out at all. Why wouldn't you want, if you're boys with a NBA champion and a Hall of Famer and one of the best point guards of all time, why wouldn't you want him a part of your team?
Because he's one of the worst executives in NBA history.
Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas destroyed the Knicks.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't know that? The Knicks were bad until Carmelo got there because of
he
Isaiah
destroyed
Thomas.
the Knicks in the 2000s. Like,
You
they
didn't know
gave him
this?
He inserted himself as coach too at one point.
Yeah,
The Knicks.
and then fired himself as coach and went
Fired
back
himself
to-
as coach, went back to being president, and hired who was one of the Knicks coaches in the 2000s?
Randy Ayers?
I don't know if that's who he hired after he disinstalled himself. But
Wasn't Phil
the point
Jackson?
is,
Monty
Isaiah
Woodson, Mike Woodson.
Mike Woodson. Isaiah Thomas destroyed the Knicks.
You didn't know this, Jackson?
I
Isaiah
mean, not
Thomas
these
is like
depths.
Isaiah Thomas's like Hall of Fame playing career is like overshadowed by like how bad.
Well, not really, because everyone just forgets about how bad he was as an executive now.
That is true. He's done a great
Wait,
job.
so hold on. Who was was it Mike Woodson after? No, it's Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni took over, and then Woodson after D'Antoni, because D'Antoni got fired. Yeah.
All right. I knew.
And Isaiah Thomas uninstalled himself as GM, and Donnie Walsh took over as the GM after Isaiah Thomas, because he was just president. Yeah. Wow. How about that, huh?
So we got a little
trip down memory lane.
Wait. DeAndre Ayton won't be traded, and the Suns said they want to keep him. Ayton says he wants to stay, and Frank Vogel and Roy Hibbert were a match made in heaven. So
I wanted to put up where Aaron says right here, I think Atlanta could pick up Ayton, Hunter, Gay, and some draft compensation. I feel like Atlanta's giving up too much there. Rocket News, I think DeAndre Ayton's trying to get out of Phoenix unless Devin Booker convinces him to stay. Aaron says Ayton's out. It's a matter of when and who gets him. I agree with that.
Well, yeah.
The trade deadline will never be the same without John.
Dude. I missed that. I'm gonna miss John Collins' trade rumors at the deadline. That was fun. We talked about
Ben
that.
Strife says something. He thinks Phoenix is just doing a lot of posturing right now.
This is not the final trade. If the final trade is Rashawn Holmes, Tim Hardaway Jr., and JaVale McGee for DeAndre Ayton, that's a bad trade.
But their whole thing is they're trying to blast through the second apron, and the way you blast through the second apron, tax apron, is by keeping DeAndre Ayton on your roster, because then you can use DeAndre Ayton as matching salary. Because you're already over the tax apron.
They have to keep him though. You can't.
Yeah, because then that's what I'm saying.
You can't trade him now.
That's what I'm saying, because you have to keep him. Yeah. So then you can trade him at the deadline or something after the tax apron comes into effect.
And you'll get more. You'll get more at the deadline than.
Well, then you can attach him and try to trade him for someone who has a similar salary,
which would be any highly paid player in the NBA, because DeAndre Ayton makes a shit ton of fucking money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. We know he doesn't want to be there. We know he hasn't wanted to be there all year.
He just said last week that he wants to be there.
Well, saying what you're saying publicly does not mean that you actually want to be there.
Okay.
The
reason he wouldn't want to be in Phoenix is because his head coach didn't like him, and he didn't like his head coach. But now his head coach is.
But now the team might not like him.
We said we weren't gonna fucking.
But we haven't heard that anywhere, so I don't want to put words in the Suns players' mouths.
Not players.
I have no reason to believe why DeAndre Ayton would want to leave. I don't know why they'd be making the same mistake as they did with Collins when DeAndre Ayton is worldly better than John Collins.
Yeah, this is a bad trade. If they got to get something, you got to at least get a first round pick for this, or some good players back.
If they wanted to trade Ayton, they already missed. If you wanted to get the max value for Ayton, you already missed your mark. You're better off rebuilding his value with Frank Vogel. This isn't Nikola Vucevic in 2019 with the Orlando Magic, where you're getting 2 first-round picks and Wendell Carter Jr. Like, you missed the boat on that probably after the finals.
They should have traded him before the season started last year if they wanted to get full value for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's too late now. Like, they got to keep him.
Unless go through it this season with Vogel. Maybe you get DeAndre domination going 19-12, a nice little playoff run, and
if they can turn him. If they can turn him into Roy Hibbert, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I definitely think that like when we look at this situation, it's definitely interesting.
Ayton was a former first-round pick.
He was the
number one overall pick. Yeah,
it's a lot. Different but close to Colin. I see the similarities, but I don't think Ayton's this grown anymore.
Ayton's more valuable than John Collins is too.
Yeah.